Okay, tell me about the door knock from Anthony Munoz, of all people, fellow Trojan and fellow now Hall of Famer. That had to be pretty cool for you.
Yeah, well, if you notice, like everyone else had someone from their franchise who was a Hall of Famer. So obviously Jacksonville, I'm the first, so there was no one to knock on my door. And if you could have listed, Rich, all the people in the world that I would have wanted to open up the door and see welcome me to the Hall of Fame, there's not a better person than Anthony Munoz. You mentioned he went to SC. He set the standard. He's the best ever, in my opinion. It's the position I played. He's a guy that I wanted to be like. It's like that's who you would model your game after. Over the years, we've become friends, and he's always been super supportive. And so, like, that moment was going to be awesome, regardless of who knocked on the door, to be clear. Because, I mean, you're going to the Hall of Fame, which is the highest individual honor you can get in the game of football. But when it was Anthony Munoz, and I opened that door, and he's in his gold jacket, he gives me that big hug, and my family's behind it, it's a moment I'll never forget. It's like one of the, we all have highlights in life, like these big moments, getting married, having kids, whatever they are. And this is going to be one of those for me.
And what was that moment like with your wife, Tony? Because I know with my wife, she, one of the many things I love about her is whenever I'm slighted or she feels I've been slighted, she's not only there to pick me up or give me the, kind of, screw them sort of conversation. So what was it like to actually celebrate this moment with somebody who's been by your side for all those times where the door didn't get knocked? Tony.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, we've been married. It'll be 27 years this year. I mean, we dated in college. She was there when I got drafted. She was there for the big moments as a player, as a Jaguar, Hawaii, All-Pro, a lineman of the year, all the big stuff. She was there when I got hurt too, and I found out my career was over. And she dealt with, me being down and depressed, and I mean, she's my best friend, and to be able to, and she's like you just said it, Rich. I mean, she's the one who's in my corner. My wife is the nicest person in the world, literally the nicest I've ever met, outside of two things. If you talk bad about her husband or her kids, she will come kill you. And, I mean, it's just, like, watch out. Like, I'd be careful. Angie Boselli's coming after you if you talk about her husband or her kids.
Right.
And for her to be a part of that moment for me, I mean, it's obviously I'm going into the Hall of Fame, but she's coming with me, and my kids and my teammates and, like, my close friends. And the best part about it is, they voted on the 18th of January. The knock happens on the 27th, so that's, 9 days in between.
Right.
She got a phone call from the Hall of Fame on the 19th, the day after, letting her know that I made the Hall of Fame. Because they have to schedule the knock, and I travel a lot, and, like, where am I going to be? And she kept it a secret from me for 9 days, and she played it up perfectly. She acted like she was worried that I hadn't heard anything. 'Cause I'm getting anxious, and when it all happened, I looked at her. I said, "I'm going to kill you." I'm like, what else have you been lying to me about in the last 7 years? Because you're really good at it. You're really good at this. So,
wow.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah, so because they have to let somebody in your family know, because they can't bring Anthony Munoz and, you're out doing a grocery run, right? I mean, like you got,
right.
and I'm sure, you have to make sure that everyone's around that you wanted to be around. And she had to arrange, but that had to kill her, right? For 8 days.
Yeah. I don't know how she did it, Rich. I mean, she had to. So she had to get my mom was there.
Mm-hmm.
She had my stepmom because my dad passed away in last year. So which was probably the only disappointing thing because he couldn't be.
Right.
I was really close to my dad, but she had to get my stepmom, my kids. Some live in South Florida, some live in Gainesville at the University of Florida. She had to get all them there, and she orchestrated this entire thing, and I had no idea. I opened that door and I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
It's Anthony Munoz on your stoop and his jacket, right? Extending his hand.
Jacket, and he just gives you that big hug. And I was just like, this is awesome. And then we got to sit down and talk. And Anthony and I are friends. So it just made it that much special. We got some bubbly out, a little champagne toast. And it was awesome. It was just it's what life's all about. Because to me, making the Hall of Fame is amazing. It's like huge. But to be able to experience that with the people you love and who've been there and have been cheering you on, and, you know, it was glorious. It was awesome because the 5 years before that, we'd be in a hotel room or whatever. We'd find out I didn't make it, and they'd all be crying. I'd be sitting there, the only one not. I mean, I was upset, but like my wife's crying, my kids are crying, and so just to take that and remember those disappointments where everyone experienced that together, which is part of life too, and that's why you love family. But to see them as excited and go to the Super Bowl and experience all the big moments, it's just been a great ride. It's been awesome.
Tony Boselli here on the Rich Eisen Show, and again, to go to the Super Bowl in Southern California, right, where you played your college ball, and and who the hell knew there would ever be a Super Bowl back in Los Angeles, and let alone a moment for you where you could see maybe some of your old college mates or hit campus. That's pretty cool awesome too, right?
And we had a party Thursday night after the honors that the Jags helped host on campus at USC at Heritage Hall. And Rich, you mentioned about the Super Bowl being back in LA for the first time. The last time I played in 1994 at USC was the last year the Rams and the Raiders were in LA. And so like the full circle and come back and to be inducted to the Hall of Fame in LA, the whole thing, it was amazing. And we had this big party, and there's so many great moments, but I'm just going to brag on my wife some more because she, as I mentioned, my dad died on Memorial Day last year, which anyone who's lost a parent, that's just devastating. And I knew the year, earlier that year when I found out I wasn't going to make the Hall of Fame again, that he probably wasn't going to make it because he had cancer. And so you go through it, you go through all the emotions, and it was emotional when I found out. I knew my dad, he wasn't here with me. And so what I didn't know, we had this party Thursday night after the honors at USC, and at the end of it, or near the end, they run this video. It's all my friends and family like congratulating me, and just really cool little moments, making fun of me, which I love. I love when people take shots because it's good stuff. And at the end of it, all of a sudden, my dad pops up on the screen, and my wife and one of my best friends, a guy named Eric Murphy, 12 days before my dad died, convinced him to do a video congratulating me on making the Hall of Fame.
No way.
Oh, wow.
And Rich, I'm getting emotional just thinking about it here. I couldn't even watch it. I had to put my head in my hands, and I still haven't got up like the strength to go back and watch the whole thing because he lost me when he said his opening words. He says, "I'm so proud of you, son." And I was like, I'm done. But it was such, the fact that my wife and my friends thought about doing that and making that a reality. So just like so many cool moments.
Wow.
And I'm a fortunate man, Rich.
I lost my dad in 2019. I'm getting choked up hearing it, because I'm part of that unfortunate fraternity of having lost my father, and you gave me goosebumps. That had to be oh my gosh, that actually happened, and now you can actually see the video, and you are that Hall of Famer, man, and you're the first as a Jaguar. I mean, it's incredible. It really is.
It doesn't replace him not being there,
of course.
But you know what? It doesn't. It's his best. It was awesome.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.